Khismatullin is a former 2700 FIDE rated player. He drew Yankshi Stapdura, so not an easy opponent.
On your screens just passed by, and Magnus Carlsen playing against Denis Khismatullin, who made the draw also in the first round. So we could see the moves. Hopefully we also have some, not
We're
really.
waiting for the moves to load,
Yes.
but some Meran. Yes, it's a Meran that Magnus is playing. Yes, it is a Meran. Here we are. E3, knight bd7 happened. So queen c2, and we're off. Let's quickly scan the other boards as well. That's Samarkand against Levon Aronian. Everybody does these funny...
And get a favorable Carlsbad structure. Instead, trying to puzzle out what we see on the board. I think b6. I see a black pawn on b6. How could that possibly happen?
Well,
Queen
e3,
C2,
b6.
Aha.
I think e3, knight with e7, queen c2, b6. Probably
Okay.
this is what's
go.
having, but we will have to wait for the update.
I think you're right.
I do remember that this is some kind of a Magnus path line. Knight b7, queen c2 and b6. This is only I'm making those moves, we are waiting for confirmation. But that
Okay.
would make sense.
Early b6, so eschewing the kind of Moran idea of dc followed by b5 and instead opting for a more solid plan of queenside development is the idea to fianchetto and then ultimately to get that pawn cube with c6, c5.
Yes, Black clearly aims to go bishop b7, probably also rook c8, eventually get ready for this quick c6, c5 break. And the reason why Black is doing this is that the setup with e3 and queen c2 has a very solid reputation with a lot of forcing lines, which basically give Black almost zero chances of playing for a win. And this explains why Magnus might not play the main line, but he is looking for some sideways to get a richer strategic.
And you want to avoid falling into the draw swamp where you start giving away these draws, and before you know it, the leader has a 1.5, 2 point lead over you. So how is Magnus going to complicate this ultra simple position? Well, bishop b7, bishop d6, rook c8, there's a lot of pretty obvious moves. And from my perspective, Peter, White's bishop on c1, that dark squared bishop, doesn't really have a clear home.
Yes, on the other hand, okay, now after CD, there are immediately some questions, and the reason why the players are taking their time. White can actually opt for knight b5, starting knight c7 check, and Black's reaction is bishop b4 check, when White can actually simply immediately trade that bad dark square bishop.
And that's
Bishop
exactly
B2.
what has happened.
Yeah, knight b5, okay. Bishop b4 check, bishop d2, bishop takes d2, and now the question, okay, the most tempting option is knight takes d2, making sure that the e4 square is kind of protected.
Yeah, definitely knight takes d2 is, I would say, almost automatic, because queen takes d2 might also walk into some knight e4 ideas. So knight takes d2.
you make a draw at this moment? Like, can you actually offer a draw? I don't think so.
Isn't it move 30?
I think
you can make
yes,
a draw.
it should be after.
It is move 30, but I think Magnus will not agree.
He'll just keep playing
play around.
in this position.
See, the thing is, even if in the tournament he's trying to warm up for the thing. Even if he plays a dead drawn position for a while, you get the feeling of
the game.
concept.
And also very nice for Magnus that the pawns are still alive on the queen side. So if ever White King is trying to somehow make sure that he is controlling the H pawn, there will be another issue. The Black Knight might jump towards the A4 pawn and collect that one as well.
Absolutely exquisite technique by Carlsen. The Danchenko Fedoseev game is getting crazier and crazier. I don't know if we should stick to the Magnus game and watch it unfold. Probably the chat would prefer that we watch the remainder of this game first.
Yes, because I also feel like it could easily be over pretty soon. I do see that Khismatullin is fighting hard. Yeah, he wants to make sure that the knight controls the h5 pawn. Already right there. White cannot allow this pawn to be advanced.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Go on. Sorry.